Yeah, hyperlite. I may look pretty fast, and the hyperlite brings a brand new carbon light runner to the market, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's its biggest flaw.
What's going on, you guys? Justin, aka Boomer, Beer League Bum, Hockey Reviews. Today we are talking about the Bauer Hyperlite skate. It's taken me a while to release this video because I wanted to do a lot of testing with this and actually use it for a number of months. I've had these since the original release date, which was back in July. And I wanted to give a full rundown on what I thought of them and how you can justify that $1,500 Canadian price tag. So first thing that we're going to talk about here is protection. Because for me, a top-end skate, it is lighter. It's built out of, let's say, lighter and technically stronger materials, but usually the protection is a little bit less. However, with the Hyperlite, I'm extremely impressed with the protection. I've taken a number of shots off the side and off the tongue and barely even felt a thing. So when I think about the Hyperlite and previous generation skates I've had before, I'm extremely impressed with the tongue. It's extremely padded, but it actually is really comfortable and moldable. The outer quarter package is stiff enough that it will deflect a shot without breaking your ankle. And if you take one off the back, if you happen to be turned around or something and a quick shot goes off, you'll be fine here as well. The toe cap is extremely good. I like that it's asymmetrical. It helps, again, with protection. I've taken a couple off the tip here as well. Extremely good protection. So the Hyperlite brings it in the protection department. Let's talk comfort. You have a $1,500 skate, you want it to be comfortable. I'm pretty impressed with just the stock footbed. It's very comfortable. The moldable foam in the ankles gets extremely comfortable once it's molded to your actual ankles and feels really great. You got that hyper response lock fit style thing on the sides there. Feels great. The asymmetrical toe cap feels great. There's a little bit of felt or something in there in the bottom that you can feel. And it feels great. It's a very comfortable skate. Durability. Here's where the Hyperlite has its biggest con. For those who have followed my Instagram or seen my post, you will know that I actually have Pulse TI steel. And the reason for that is because only 6 weeks in, my carbonlite runners broke. They broke at the entrance point where the two little flanges stick into the skate and came right out. And unfortunately, I was stuck without a runner while I was playing a game. I lost half the game because I didn't have a second runner, and I was pretty disappointed. But it tells me right now that the durability of high-performing stuff like this, no different with sticks, is that these unfortunately will fail in their main research and development that they tried to push the boundaries on, and that's the carbonlite steel. Now, I love what they tried to do. The carbonlite steel felt great. The skate was even lighter when it didn't have the Pulse TI on it, but the durability just wasn't there. And I was pretty disappointed with how fast it broke because I actually don't even know where it actually happened. I didn't get hit by a shot in that particular area. I didn't get slashed. I didn't crash into the boards. It was just over time from use, which is not great. It's one thing if there was a huge shot that was from some huge guy, 100 miles an hour or something, and busted it. I've seen steel break. But this stuff, unfortunately, it just broke. And it's just not reliable enough to justify it the only selling point of the Hyperlite. So although the skate overall is really good, and there's a lot of things we're going to talk about in other sections here, the durability is questionable. On top of that, I have a huge thing here, if you can see it, right there. That's a huge chunk out of the side of the skate, and that was actually from a puck. So although the protection is extremely good, the durability of the actual materials came pretty much right off. So I was a little disappointed there from a cosmetic and durability standpoint. It looks pretty ugly now. And I'm not sure if that will cause a breakdown over time. I usually keep my skates for about 2 years and replace them when the new generation comes out. So hopefully this does not cause any cracking. You can see it there. But the Hyperlite runner, the carbonlite, is not durable. It is not worth getting. That is one of the big cons of this skate. Do not get it. Switch to the Pulse TI. You won't regret that.
Here's a quick shot of the broken little flange. that is held in the inside of the skate, and here is what it's supposed to look like. Unfortunately, that is all that's holding your skate into your holder.
Let's talk nitpicks on the hyperlite. For me, the biggest nitpick is going to be the tongue. Despite its protection and comfort, it looks really weird and ugly. I'm not a fan of it. Considering that the rest of the skate is generally good looking and pleasing to the eye, maybe the FT4 Pro should take a hint from that. Bauer skates have always been pretty flashy in terms of the vapor line, but the hyperlite is pretty tame. Other than, a little bit of a kind of white thing here that you can see as you're skating. But my biggest gripe is that the tongue is a little bit hideous, and if you haven't ever tried these on, the tongue actually goes in pretty far here. Usually a Bauer tongue does not sit that far in, and I've noticed it a little bit where it might get in my way in terms of hitting my shin guards, or I get a little pinch here and there. It's still comfortable, but I can tell that they overlooked that a little bit. I'm not really sure how, but they did for sure. So just keep that in mind. And because it's so big, you'll notice here, I have a bunch of wear right there on the tongue because it's constantly rubbing on the inside of the boot here. And eventually, I'm guessing that's going to break down. It's already pretty much gone there. There's a lot of wear and tear, and it'll probably open up and I'll be replacing that piece, or I'll have to get a new tongue somehow. But you can see it there. It's already coming off, and that's only 3 months into this skate's life. I skate about 5 times a week. That's a lot considering that I'm just a beer leaguer. So somebody else might get more life out of this, but I test this stuff because I play a lot, I play hard, I'm a highly skilled player, and I'm really into testing this gear and seeing what it really is supposed to do, and actually testing Bauer and CCM's claims of how good their stuff really is. Let's talk performance. The hyperlite is designed to be a light skate, agility, as they say, although I've used both Supreme and Vapor and haven't been more agile or more powerful, it's all just a marketing gimmick, is the performance of this skate is extremely good. I came from a 2X Pro originally, and before that, I think I had an MX3, and before that, original APX. I can't remember exactly. But this skate does top them all in terms of performance. Now, everybody's going to say that it's negotiable in terms of how much you're gaining from a skate, but if you take this skate and you compare it to, say, other brands in terms of their weight, the design, the sleekness of it, the comfort, etc., the hyperlite, in my opinion, comes out on top. There's a few reasons for that. The first is the back pad here is extremely stiff, and I find that gives me a lot of support in acceleration, stopping, etc. And then the tongue is extremely flexible. It's extremely mobile. Top that off with the marketing gimmick that is the hyperlite. It's those little forward-facing inlets that have the little cutouts in there, and you get a really good forward flex. In my opinion, I am faster with this skate. Yes, I do not have a scientific study that says I'm actually faster with it, but I have noticed my speed is better, I get to pucks quicker, etc. And I did even more so with the carbonlite runner, which was why it was disappointed that it broke. Going back to the Pulse TI, really small difference, of course. You're not going to see that. It's like taking your socks off. It's exaggeration. But there was, the whole point of the hyperlite was lessening the weight of the boot, lessening the weight of the runner, overall improvement. It's a little less when you put the Pulse TI in here and get rid of the carbonlite. Now you just have a slightly upgraded boot from the 2X Pro, which is of course a great stick or skate. Let's talk features. The biggest thing I like about Bauer and their skates is they're always trying something new. Yes, the carbonlite was a fail, but they pushed the boundaries and they tried something new. They did so with the ultrasonic and the 2S Pros in terms of the flexing rear guard, the tongue, the protection, the flex. The hyperlite has these little slots in it that they're pushing there. They tried the carbon runner. Bauer is always pushing technology and R&D and testing something new. So you have to give them credit for that. Now, is this skate worth $1,500? With the carbonlite runner, I think it's about $13 or something without it. It really is, if you play a lot and you want to bring something to the ice that you're going to be comfortable in, it's going to feel extremely light, you're not going to get fatigued on the ice, and you like the features of this particular skate. I like the tongue and how it performs, not necessarily the durability and how it looks. I hate this red. I don't know what that's about. I love the slots on the side of the facing forward inlets. These definitely work. I feel them. I get a lot of forward flex. I love this tongue. It's extremely stiff. I really love just the lightness and feel of this boot. For me, it's worth $1,500 minus the carbonlite. The problem is a regular beer leaguer will probably not notice this stuff, and I don't think this skate is worth that price tag for somebody. Instead, what makes more sense is you get basically this skate with a few minus the new features in a 2X Pro for only $600 or $700 on sale right now, or the new Ultrasonic is the next one for Supreme, and you can get the old 2S Pro, etc. It's probably best for most beer leaguers to get the original or the last generation skate and not go with this. Unless you're like me and you love to test gear and you're a major gear whore and you just love it, but it's not worth it for most people. Get a 2X Pro because it has most of these features, and unfortunately the Hyperlite's gimmick was the carbon runner, and the carbon runner is garbage. So if that was really the selling point for you and trying something like that new, it's not worth it. So go get a 2X Pro. You'll get it for $600-700 on sale. It'll last you 5 or 6 years, and you'll get most of the features of the current Bauer skate. I look forward to Bauer trying something new with the Hyperlite, maybe fixing the carbon issue. Maybe they can do a 2.0. They did that with the speed plate. The original speed plate was absolute garbage. The 2.0 was quite an improvement and fixed a lot of the issues it had. So I'm hoping that the Hyperlite 2.0 tries it and tries to fix that issue, but using brittle carbon and braking, unfortunately it didn't work. Anyway, I love the skates otherwise, but like I said, my final review, get a 2X Pro. You'll be much more happier if you like the Vapor, and I'll see you next time.